I'm Bill.
And I'm Candace.
And
we're the
disruptor.
disruptors. Oh, see, Bill's trying to already disrupt us. And who else is in the studio?
The janitor, Mr. Clean, is
I'm
here.
going to drink my coffee.
Okay, he's going to drink his coffee while the show really wraps up today.
Welcome to the show,
excited.
Mr. Producer.
Well, thank you.
Thanks for coming,
Chris.
Chris.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And of course, we have the executive producer, Patty, the pug, in the studio.
Yes, Patty's with us today also. And she said she was going to have a CPAP machine to keep awake or something during the
her snoring does kind of get out of control sometimes.
It's not good. Today we have a very special show going on here at the Wild Child Studios.
We do, because it's constantly being in the news. And so since it's fresh on our mind, and since you and I have personally been talking about it, Bill, with a variety of different things, and that is business is to build bridges, not firing lines.
Or firing squads.
Yeah.
Introduced to us the reason why we've had these conversations, because I think you could do it more elegantly than I would say.
Eloquently?
Yes. Really more,
Bill has teeth, but sometimes it's marbles.
Well, that's very true.
Hey, first of all, I want to thank our listening audience.
All three of them, yeah. Ma, Pop, and Junior.
For tuning in. And greetings to those in Australia. So thanks for picking up our show. We appreciate you.
We certainly do.
Hey, we got lots of changes. So before I even jump in, check us out at WLDCHILDGRP, wildchildgroup.com.
Or keepusmiling.com, either one. And send us some hate mail. Candace needs it because she has nothing better to do at night than to read your comments.
Well, actually, this should stimulate some comments. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive into the fact that businesses dragging or putting their religious or political beliefs at play directly to their constituents, their consumers, their clients, their customers.
Well, it's really hard to believe that we're getting so PC correct that now we have to watch what we say. We have to watch when we go into a business. If we're toting firearms, which are a constitutional right, if we have the right color shirt on, or whatever. It's getting to be, it's ridiculous. And I think it's driving us to the internet to do our shopping and everything.
Well, I think that at some point, listen, I've said for a long time, if you're legal, so whatever legal is, now in the state of Washington, I can smoke marijuana in public. It's legal. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Don't like the game, change the rules. That's the beautiful side of America. You can go and you can petition and change the law. You can have, in a sense, wink, wink, what you want. But until then, businesses really should avoid their religious and their political beliefs. The only time, because inevitably you're going to bring this up, one of us looking at across the table.
Yes, we're ready. Bring it on.
Is the fact that, if you're supporting a nonprofit, here's the caveat. If you're a cause-based business, which means, what does it look like, Candace, right? So wasn't it Ted's shoes? Tom's shoes. If you bought a pair, then they would donate a pair of shoes.
Right.
Okay, that they're in support of a social issue, and they're finding that they're part of the solution. Levi Strauss, I know for years, has, and wasn't it Wrangler?
Supported gun control.
Supported gun control.
Yes, they did.
And they did make that public.
I don't know about Wrangler. I do know about Levi's.
Okay,
Levi did, yes.
They've made that public. Those were public things, and people still purchased, in support of, or they just, whatever their reason, their buying patterns were. When you come out and you make it public, or you've got some businesses that are jumping on the bandwagon, which I think is a great cause, helping to stop human trafficking. Nobody wants to be a commodity, right?
Very true.
So I think that's a viable social issue. Does it make sense for your company to publicly promote that and support that? If you're going to be a cause-based company, then it should be on your literature. They should have, we support. They should back it. It shouldn't be a side comment or, after the thought issue. And so since in the last, 3 years or so, we've had some intriguing and highly publicized issues. And so we're going to start with...
And it has been such a drastic change in business, in the attitudes of business, towards political beliefs that it's really getting to be kind of nerve-wracking, really.
Well, it sure can be. So let's just go back to everybody should know, or at least be acquainted with, and if not, and this is your first time hearing at it, please, for either one of these, you guys can do the research for yourselves online. I mean, the internet's full of it. But in Oregon, do you remember the bakery? In Oregon, and that was Sweet Cakes by Melissa. They were in Gresham, Oregon. It's a bakery, and a same-sex couple wanted them to bake them their cake for their wedding, and the bakery refused. Long story short, they took them to court. They lost. Oregon, the state itself came against them, fined them quite a bit of money. The bakery is no longer in operation, and from what I understand, as of December, so I mean, we're still a few months behind, December of last year, they upheld a $135,000 fine that these people needed to pay. Since then, I mean, the company's gone bankrupt, and it was a big social issue that they could not, because they were having a same-sex marriage, they could not deny them from baking the cake. Okay?
Well, very true. So now we look at both sides. Let's say I'm going to be the devil's advocate, and I'm going to come in and say, this is my business. Under constitutional rights, don't I have the right to refuse service if I don't believe in it? I mean...
Was it posted?
Well, what in the world?
It posted on the door? I mean, you have in facilities, we can refuse service to anyone for any reason.
I know.
It's posted.
I get thrown out of some of the better restaurants.
Okay.
Yes. But they don't have any posting with my face on it.
Okay.
I don't think they conclude that McDonald's is a better restaurant.
Okay. Well, anyway, the point of the matter is, when did we take the rights away from the entrepreneurs, from the shop owners? When did we say what they can and can't do?
It was the mode of what it was. It's against my religious beliefs.
Okay, it's against the religious beliefs, but why should the court step in when the gentleman says, I'm not going to bake it because he doesn't have a sign?
Because it's anti-discrimination laws. You cannot discriminate. Not baloney. Not baloney.
Salami
baloney's in the fridge.
Against baloney.
So, you have certain things there. It's considered hate. It's considered, discrimination.
That's considered hate because you don't believe. I don't think they're taking out a sign or something.
They've got discrimination laws. You can't
discriminate
against people.
And it's a good thing. You can play the devil's advocate all you want, Bill, but at the end of the day, you don't want to be. I mean, people can discriminate for a variety of different reasons: blonde hair, or green eyes, or black eyes, or somebody's too tall, or too short, or too fat, or too skinny, there's laws put in place to protect our citizens. If you don't like that law, then you have the privilege of
moving on
and changing it. Or how about this? Don't do business. Your dollars, it always cracks me up because people have a lot of things against Walmart, right? And they complain and they talk about how they've come into small communities and they put the little guy out of place. Hey, if you don't like it, don't shop there. Well, guess what they would do? They would move on. They wouldn't, so on these all small communities, if everybody and their mother, same ones picketing, holding signs and yelling and screaming, didn't shop there, they wouldn't be there. So once again, we're looking at don't hate the players, hate the game. So she should, what are you doing?
Bill's over
so
here
excited.
Sleeping.
No, he's over
about
here
the
sleeping.
Whole concept of what you're
not.
saying.
No, he's not. He's over here sleeping.
I agree with you, but it just puts me to sleep to think that we lose our rights as entrepreneurs to run our business.
Bill,
now, I understand. Wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Now.
You are missing the point. You're in business to build bridges, not draw firing lines. What are you in business for? If you tell me not to make money, I'm done. I'm off the show.
You're off the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll have a new co-host coming up next week. I hope you'll tune in.
Done.
The point of the matter is not that. I'm trying to express the rights to pursue happiness under the Constitution.
You're talking about two different issues.
You're talking about, well, not really. You're talking about the same issue, but there are two sides of the issue, Bill. And they have a right to be able to go into a business
Well, I
and
hadn't got
have
to that
service.
side yet.
But that's where she's coming
Sure.
from. You're coming at it from they have the right to refuse business. They
Correct.
have the right to receive services. You have the right to refuse business.
Let me ask you this. At the end of the day, is their money different?
Well, of course it's not different.
Okay, so what does it matter to you? What does it matter
In their case, it was a religious belief.
Okay, but at the end of the
which
day, what does it matter?
we have the constitutional
They
right.
could have had their mother go in, buy the cake, and they would have never known what the purpose of that purchase of the cake was.
How did they find out?
Because they went in for a cake testing, and that's where they were excited about their wedding, and they said it was a same-sex marriage, wedding that was going to take place, and then they went, oh my gosh, that's against our religious beliefs.
Okay,
And then that's
so
when they
had
denied
the
it.
rights to say it was beyond their religious beliefs. Just as the gay couple
But-
had the right
Except
to,
the problem is they expressed the fact that they wouldn't do it because they're
of
gay.
the religious beliefs on
Right.
their side.
we all have there's also free speech, because one of you was going to come up with that to me next, just over this issue.
As soon as I take my soapbox
So,
and put it in the closet, yes.
We do have a right, but you're in business to build bridges. You're whatever that widget is, whether it's a product or service. What does it matter? If it's illegal, then there's a problem.
Exactly.
But
If
that's
it's not illegal, then
to bake a cake.
what is the problem? And what do you care? People are eating it. And at the end of the day, I understand it's cost them everything.
Well, that's true.
Was that one cell worth losing their
Everything.
business, their home, their property, their 401k,
Why
their
does
retirements?
that couple have the right through government to suck all of that up?
Because they do at this point.
On-
Because of
I-
the law of the anti...
I can see all this, but I mean, and I'm with you guys on this issue because you're right. The owner should have just buttoned up, shut up, baked it, and said goodbye. The problem that I see is that our rights as individual entrepreneurs or business people continuously get PC corrected, and then the attorneys, which I call the of the industry, zip in to make their 30%, which blows everything out of proportion, which then goes to Supreme Court or wherever it goes, which costs us taxpayers more money when they could have just simply sat down at the table with an attorney. Okay, we're in the wrong. Slapped a fine of $100 and moved down the street.
But the very essence of business is not to have to sit here and say, I want to serve you because...
It's about commerce.
It's about commerce. That's all it's about. Business is about solving a problem. You're the solution to that person's problem. That's it.
They couldn't bake a cake, so they went to a professional.
So it's no different than up here at BJ's Restaurant and Brew House.
Oh, yes, here we go.
Right?
Now
This was in July of last year.
Now you're stepping out.
Okay, well, what happened was, if those of you don't know, it's right over here by up here on South Hill.
In Puyallup.
In Puyallup, next to Red Robin. And what happened was these business folks went into BJ's Restaurant and Brew House to obviously have a little dinner, or I'm sorry, have a little lunch and a business meeting. And the server, Kelly Beadle, even though they didn't have anything posted at the door, it wasn't posted on their website. It still is not posted on their website.
No.
But it is more public after this.
Most of the people in Puyallup know about it by now, yes.
Basically said that they shouldn't be serving individuals that have a concealed weapon. It's a no-gun zone. Schools are a no-gun zone. Post offices, federal buildings are a no-gun zone. And it's posted. So before you even get there, right? It's a no-gun zone.
On the door,
So,
it should be posted, yeah.
If people have if they're bearing a firearm and they have their weapons permit, they've been vetted by the FBI, the local police, they have a card that they carry, the weapon should be holstered, they're not swinging it around, brandishing the weapon.
They went in to simply
eat lunch, okay.
legally
and so,
armed, period.
anyways, like I said, Kelly Beadle basically told them that that she wasn't going to be able to serve them. And whenever they asked why, they basically said it's just our policy. And then, of course, that